How's it going, everybody? I've got some more Baldur's Gate for you today. Thought I'd do a little bit more recording after the last one because I had a lot of fun and I am wanting to continue the series. So when we left off, we just took a rest here at camp because we were about to get into an encounter. Um, I haven't done anything since then. I'm just back here at camp, so I'm about to start reapplying all the buffs to my party. Let's see here. We already did speak with animals. And we don't need to do Speak with Dead yet. Song of Rest helps with short rest. Let's see. What can I do that I want to do here? Do I have Longstrider on anyone? Probably on Shadowheart, right? Okay. So that shouldn't be anything I need to apply here then. Let's go ahead and look at Shadowheart then. Do I have Longstrider on her? I do. Okay. So we're going to go around and start with that. Put that on everybody. Could get multiple people with level 2. I think just the 2 of us. Yeah, that's totally fine. You're not actually using any spell slots for Longstrider, so it's a really nice one to go ahead and apply to everyone in your party because it will give you increased movement speed during combat, which is really fantastic. Let's get over here to Will. I did dye a little bit more of everyone's clothes. Just in the intermission in between the last recording and now. So I didn't change Will's any, but like if you get into Shadowheart here, I dyed her gloves and boots to match the armor. It's not very visible, but I did do that. And then same with Monahan, I dyed the hat, gloves, and boots that I'm wearing to make them match, and the cape, so all the color is that muddy red. Again, I'll probably change that in the future, but for now I thought that was pretty interesting. What weapon do I have here? Just a +1 longsword? Guess it's better than nothing. Let's go ahead and get to Karlak next. She needs to drink up a Hill Giant Strength Potion. Go back to my main character. We're going to do an Armor of Agathis. If I can find it. There it is. And then we're going to also do that on Will. And that's just to optimize how much health we have overall in the party. Looks like Will only has 1 spell slot, which is kind of crazy. I guess that makes sense for a level, whatever, Hexblade. He's only level 1 in Hexblade, and then Rogue after that. So we're not going to be able to use things like Hex during combat, but we will still be able to use Eldritch Blast and this Hunter's Mark that he's getting from the bow that we have him equipped with, so that's why that is. Yeah, and that should be good. The bound weapon should still be... or the weapon should be bound still. If I'm not mistaken. Let's check the main hand weapon here. It's 3 to 8. And this is 1 to 6, so you can see the kind of difference there. This one's getting the buff from Charisma, and this one is not. But that's not a big deal because this is just going to be our offhand melee attack whenever we do that, so no big deal. Anyway, let's go ahead. I think that's all the buffs for everybody, unless I'm forgetting anything, which is entirely possible. We've got Speak with Animals. Is there anything else? Speak with Animals, Longstrider, Armor of Agathis. We do still have spell slots on Monahan. You know what we can do? We can go ahead and get into the Starry form for, or the Archer form for Shadowheart here. Have that be applied right now. And I think that should be good enough. You can... Do I have Gale set up in a way to where he can do buffs? Maybe? I know I intend to at some point. I'm not going to worry about that right now. We're just going to mess with what we've got currently. Because you can do a buff, obviously, where you give... it's whatever ability makes it to where it splits whatever damage your party takes and gives him half. But since he's Gale and he's here in the camp, he heals himself. I kind of want to see if I've already given it to him, but I'll worry about it later. I don't want to take anyone out of the party. I could just swap out Karlak real quick and check. Maybe I should. Let's go do that real quick. I'm just going to check and see if I already have that skill or not.
Thank goodness that's all dealt with. The odds are stacked high enough against us already. No need to turn on each other.
Oh, he's talking about the camp event last night.
Oh, nothing would give me greater pleasure. Which of our esteemed company am I stepping in for?
Alright, we're going to have him step out for Karlak just briefly.
Lead on, then.
He does have a level up, it looks like. So let's go ahead and do that. So yeah, he's a level 3 cleric because I needed him to be a cleric to learn the, I think it's aid? Maybe not. Warding bond, that's it. So that's what we wanted him to have to defend our people. And I'm pretty good with that. Let's go ahead and just take off these, I don't even know. Spiritual weapon's good. What do we got here? Do want warding bond. Let's look at the... Okay, these are all the level 2 spells. Protection from poisons, meh. Shouldn't need any of these that I can tell. Hold person's not bad if he's actually going to be in the group, but let's just skip that for now. I like Bless. Was that one of the ones here? Maybe not. Maybe he already has that even. Healing Word's good. Sanctuary can be. Does Shield of Faith only apply to self, or could I put that on someone else? Protect a creature from attacks and increase its armor class by 2. Lasts until long rest, so that's pretty good. We'll take it. I don't know if I'll use that. Protection from good and evil is similar. Let's see, are both of these concentration? So both of these are concentration spells. Warding Bond is not a concentration spell. And it is possible for him to lose concentration if he takes damage from Warding Bond, so it's worth knowing that. I'm going to take Bane and Protection from good and evil for now. I don't think... Obviously, we can't use all these at once, but I think that's fine. No, let's do Enhance Ability just in case that matters. Again, another concentration spell, and it doesn't last long-term till long rest like these others, but it could be useful if I have to use it for something here in camp. So let's go ahead and see. Looks like I should be able to do the protection from good and, or the what's it called, warding bond twice. So let's see, who needs it? Karlak does, but so does Will and Monaghan, so... I think, because I have a shield on my main character, I'm going to do Warding Bond on Karlak and on Will. And that'll last till long rest with them, and it's totally worth applying, I think. You could still do a concentration spell. So if I wanted to, I could do until long rest, protect a creature from attacks, increase its armor class as well. But I've only got... Okay, and that's a level 1 spell slot, actually. We can only do it to one person, but that's good to know. So let's go ahead and do Warding Bond on Will as well. And then Will has the highest armor class of anyone in my group. Armor-wise, so I'm going to do the Shield of Faith on Karlak. And he should be able to focus on that with concentration without it affecting the warding bond at all. Except for, like I said, when he takes damage, he'll have to do a concentration check, and if he fails that check, he'll lose the Shield of Faith, but that's fine. Let's go ahead and get Karlak back in the group now. And that's if he still concentrates on that. I'm not sure if he'll remember that while he's here in camp. We'll find out.
No room in your party. What should I do?
You're going to replace Gale. Where is he? There it is.
Let's hop.
So, let's just go ahead and look. She may not still have the Shield of Faith effect, and I'm not sure. Let's see if we can find that out, though. Should affect armor rating. Armor class is 17 currently. Should be 15? 14 from this. So maybe that worked and upped it? Do have Gloves of Missile Snaring on temporarily. I can't... Maybe it would be in... I don't even know what's causing any of these. Does it say? Lots of resistances. I think that's coming from the warding bond, though. I could be wrong. So, I can't tell. I don't see anything. And then there's also unarmored defense. Unarmored defense on barbarians is pretty terrible, though. You have to have a high constitution, dexterity, and something else all at once to really get a benefit from it, so it's pretty crap. But anyway, yeah, I have no idea. No idea if the Shield of Faith is still active, but it was worth a try either way. I know things that you apply to your party members and then have that person swap out often don't last. So for example, I think I've tried Longstrider before on someone here at the camp, and then since I didn't bring them with me, it didn't stay applied. But I could be wrong on that. That's just something I'm remembering. Either way, the important thing is that we got Warding Bond on Will and Karlach, because that's going to help in combat, which we're about to get into. I am going to go ahead and head out for that. So let's leave camp.
Flowers, leaves, grass. Can't beat it.
I did want to talk to
I was
Karlach
raised
some
in
more.
the city. I'm more used to feeling cobblestones underfoot than grass and fallen leaves.
Isn't that a weird statement
Before I
from
went to
a
Avernus,
elf?
I'd have agreed with you. Nothing quite like Baldur's Gate, is there?
But okay.
Nothing in my recollection, anyway.
So I do want to do a little bit of dialogue with Will and Karlach now that they've had their scuffle, let's say. So let's go ahead and do that.
Copper for your thoughts.
A lot of these conversation topics looks like they're related to the infernal engine in her chest. Huh. Let's just start here.
It's not that I want to collect them, per se. It's just that if we should happen upon them, I can use them in battle to fire up my engine. Evil's evil, but it can be put to good use. Sometimes. Maybe. Right?
Okay, so that was that conversation topic.
Soldier? I'll tell you all about it after we've taken down those paladins I'm after. Believe me, it's worth the wait.
Yeah, a lot of her dialogue's not until after we take out those so-called paladins of hers.
Let's hope Damon is as good as he seems. Once my engine's handled, I can focus on more important matters. Tadpoles, cults, frosty pints. That's the short of it. Bloody thing's been in overdrive since I left Avernus. Gives me energy. Power. But you've seen it in action. Very hard to control. If I'm excited at all, angry, nervous, delighted, enticed, I burn hot. Hot enough to burn anyone who gets close. I try not to think about it. I still think about it constantly, but, you know, I try. One of these days, I'll sort the whole infernal affair out, get myself cooled off, start making up for lost time. But not today.
Okay, so that's enough with Karlach. Let's see if Will has some stuff.
Well met. He brings to mind a story. The Devil with the Silver Tongue. An old fairy tale my father read to me. The kind with a hero, a villain, and a moral. A farmer made a deal with the devil, so the story goes. In exchange for the farmer's dearest fruit, the devil granted him a bottomless coin purse. The farmer's dearest fruit, naturally, was no apple nor peach, but his beloved daughter. We can learn a lot from fairy tales, don't you think?
Okay.
Refuse him, no matter how tempting the offer, no matter how delicious the feast he lays out for you. The cost will be too great. That's because you still have hope. But when he becomes your last hope, remember this. He'll require of you only what you're least ready to part with, and then require more still. You might think you'd give up anything for a cure, but the devil won't take just anything. He'll take everything.
It's really well put, actually, and it reminds me of, like, any kind of situation where you've ever seen someone deal with a genie. Normally, they always say, you know, to be extremely careful what you wish for, because a genie will warp or twist whatever you wish for into a way that will make it worse. So, you know, if you wish for infinite wealth, you may get it, but it'll all be stolen, and then you go to prison, you know, different things like that. It always is like a double-edged sword most of the time. Whatever you wish for can come back to hurt you unless you're extremely careful in your wishes. Similarly to what he's saying with the devil, any deal with the devil, you're not going to be giving up something. You're going to give up everything. They're taking everything from you, whether it be your soul and enslaving you in the end, or what have you. So it's always careful what kind of deals you make, and make sure that you have it entirely understood before you make said deal. Anyway, this stone door here is a back entrance into the grove. This path leads to the dungeon that goblin is being held captive in. If you go to the goblin and try to set them free, you'll have to walk out, and this will be the exit that you take. There's a very difficult combat in here that is only difficult if you come in through that other side first. So if you come in through this door, it trivializes the whole fight and actually makes it just fine. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be coming in through this side and taking on the combat in this area before going to free that goblin. It is also worth noting that no one in our party is going to like me freeing that goblin. No one. And that's because they're all good people and they don't want us to set it free. I still want to do it, so that's why I'm doing it, just because I feel like it. But you don't have to. You absolutely do not have to free this goblin. So you want to sneak over this way. If the statue sees you, it will start shooting and doing things like lighting this oil on fire. Coming in this way, you can get over to it and just turn it off very easily. Then from here, we do have a combat that we're about to get into, like I had just said. I'm going to go ahead and bring the rest of the party over here to Will. And then we're probably going to go ahead and start getting into the combat here. The one goblin is up at the top of the ledge here. And I guess I'm going to have Will probably start the fight.
Oh, this was more fun when he was screaming. Copping off a tub. Did some bleeding arts show up to save the druid? I'll cut you to pieces.
So we failed to sneak in. They do see us, but that's pretty fine. Because this combat was going to be happening either way, and they didn't see the rest of the party yet, actually. Oh, now they did. Okay, so that kind of sucks. Could have gone better. But I think it's still just fine. Looks like it got back to the initiative order where I can do things again. So let's start here. I'm going to go Hunter's Mark on this. And then let's go get Booming Blade going on. Can you do it? Alright, not too bad. Got a little bit of damage there. Next, let's just go ahead and end Will's initiative turn and take whoever we get. What abilities do we have on Karlach? So we've got Piercing Shot, Cleave, Lacerate, Legacy of Ernest, Searing Smite. Do I want to Rage? It's really probably not necessary, right? Let's get down here and Reckless Attack this little guy. See if we can do that. Or can I not because of the current, like, Will's in the way?
Count on me.
Let's see what we can do with that. Can I hit you now? Can't reach. Okay. So I don't prefer this. Let's go ahead and do that. got the goblin out of the way. I would like to switch back to my main hand weapon. There we go. It's holding left on the D-pad. That's just in case someone decides to try and get up here in melee combat range and move out. Let's go ahead and end that. Sadly, we've got a bit of an issue here. I think I'm going to have to avoid melee combat for this moment. Do I have Eldritch Blast? There it is. So let's go ahead and hex one of these individuals. I think Dexterity is probably going to be my go here.
Maybe I should... No, this is good.
Then let's just hit him with an Eldritch Blast because there's such a cluster for the melee down there right now. I do not like all of us being in this grouping like this, so I'm going to back up, actually. I really think it's bad to have us too clustered. Okay, and then we'll pass on. Next will be Shadowheart, hopefully. Ooh, really painful hit there. Let's go ahead. Just bounce a healing word off Monahan. Helps just a bit, adds a bless. And then I'm thinking Guiding Bolt. Actually, Flaming Sphere could be really useful, but I worry about hurting our little dude down there. But let's just go ahead and start here. I think it's just too much benefit to putting that there. That's exactly why I said we shouldn't stand too close together. I'm going to hit you. What we got? Ram, jump, ablaze. What's that? Oh, it's its own. Okay, so we'll just ram you. There is water down there, but this should be drawing aggro from both of these individuals now. So perfect. Yeah, a whole lot of mess over here that we don't really want to be taking. Can I jump adequately over to her? Looks like it. So let's get that going. I still don't think rage is necessary. Let's just go with a reckless attack here. Nice hit. Pass on, go to Will. Maybe we can go ahead and get him to jump down as well. Do we have... I'm going to try and see if I could reapply the Hunter's Mark. Maybe not. Maybe they haven't died yet. That might be why. This is going to hurt. I shouldn't have done that, but oh well. Let's go with a little bit of a booming blade. And it misses. Ideal. Just gotta love that. So many misses all the time sucks.
On my feet.
Okay, what can we do here? Could go for another Eldritch Blast, but those aren't the best. Let's check again for another jump option. Could reapply my Armor of Agathis since I took damage, but... So, no good jump. I could jump over here, I suppose. Yeah, we don't really want to get into the acid there, so I am going to jump over to the side. Because I can get over here. Yeah, and then I can attack here. So let's get a booming blade going on. Oh, not enough movement? I can't move from here? Okay. I can't jump again either. So let's just go with another Eldritch Blast then, but we're doing it from a different location at least. Got some good damage on that one. And it looks like our orb is doing good aggro, which is fantastic. Let's do the star map guiding bolt and see if we can kill this guy.
Your time has come.
Don't get in the acid, idiot. Alright, well, in that case, at least go over here somewhat. Okay, see if you can kill that guy. Did kill that guy, very good. Nobody needs healed too bad at the moment. So let's go with a luminous arrow on this one. Nice, good damage. Alright, we're almost done. Okay, got him done with the orb. We'll try missile snaring. Worked. Nice. And it was an acid arrow too, so that could have been bad. Let's go ahead and do a reckless attack again. Alright, whole combat is finished. Very easy. Why are you guys like this? Oh, I fall prone if I jump down there? What are you doing? No, just jump here. Don't fall. Bone cap, gold. I don't have a need for a goblin bow. Gold. Great axe, similar situation. Get yourself down. Stop touching the acid, you idiots. We don't need a shovel.
Time to press ahead.
Can I get you to just come up here enough so that I can get this dude's loot? Perfect. Another little bit of gold and a bone cap. Let's head on down over here. I'm going to save, though it shouldn't really make any difference for me. Let's talk to this little fella.
His breaths are shallow, his wounds deep. He doesn't respond to your voice.
Okay. Let's give him a little bit of a... See, I don't have healing word, or I do. But we don't want to use up spell slots on Monahan, so let's switch to Shadow Heart. Yeah, got plenty here. Healing word. Just do a level 1 healing word on the little guy.
No one's stopped me yet.
So now he's healed up,
Oh,
we can
thank
talk
you,
to him.
Thank you. I thought I was gonna die down here. It's my fault. I thought I'd given them the slip, but they followed me through the tunnel back there. I must tell the others what happened. I stepped careful. There are traps in these tunnels. And thank you again.
Yeah, we've got to be somewhat careful here, but let's go ahead and switch to Will. Get him to split off, and we're just going to do a little bit of more button pressing. So let's go turn off this rune. Just leave the rest of your party here waiting for now. They'll be fine. That shuts off this pillar here, this guardian statue. And then we're going to head over here. We got one more to get here, and this controls multiple guardian statues over here. We got a little bit of loot to get, so we want to make sure we do that. Oh, it was there for a second. There we go. Should be fine as long as you sneak. It's not going to make too much of a difference. And as you can see, there is like a little buried treasure point here, which is important. Successfully perceived the statues that are dangerous. Let's go ahead and see what this guy has loot-wise. Key we want to give to Monahan. We can send the money to camp. Featherfall potion we can send to camp. Shouldn't need it on us at this moment. Shouldn't need to sneak anymore. Let's go ahead and get Will to dig this up. Go ahead and get this chest open. Send to camp. Send to party leader. Send to Gale. Send to Gale. Send to camp. So, nothing hugely useful for me there, but that's no big deal either. Let's go ahead and get him back down here to rejoin the group, and then we have just a smidge more loot to get. There we go. Got him back in the group. Now I'm going to head up here and check on the rest of the loot that we kind of left behind till the fight was over. There are a handful of chests up here, as well as this barrel. Can I send you to camp? I'm just going to pick you up for now then. We're gonna send that to camp. There's some more explosive barrels up there, as you can kind of see, so... But let's go ahead and loot all of this first. Shouldn't need the water barrel. Scroll's fine, we can send that to camp. This is good for Will. As I said, send to camp. Should have done that with the other one, but I'll organize it all later. Hill Giant Strength, we'll just send that to Karlak since she already has a bunch of those.
What's inside?
Potions are nothing useful in my opinion, especially potions animal speaking. I try to make sure there's always someone in my group that can do that anyway. Preferably my, charisma focused speak to people character. Get that to Will. Okay, that's all of that. Now we do have a booby trap in here. I'm just gonna leave
The pride of the gate.
So you do kind of want to save here, and then the thing to do is to disarm this trap. We have the key to it because we have the charred key, but this trap is still something you're going to have to disarm. Got to get a 10. I don't think Bardic Inspiration is going to be necessary for that. I could be wrong. Oh yeah, no, 16 is fantastic. And that's just going to go up to like 25, 26. At 28, wow. Yeah, so no trouble there. You do that, and then we'll have party leader come over and open it. We got red and bone, or red, sinful red on bone white dye. That's interesting. Send to camp. Nature's Snare is a quarterstaff. It's not a +1 quarterstaff, so it's not actually as good as the one that we already have on Shadowheart, except that this actually has that fly trap ability. It only ensnares things when you hit them with it? Yeah, I think. I don't know. Hard to say. I don't think it's as good, though, as the one that she currently has, because it is at least a +1. Send this to camp. I think for now I'm going to send this to camp, too, because I think I'd rather keep her with the +1 quarterstaff for now. And then I'm going to take these explosive barrels that were part of the trap as well. Let's go ahead and send some things here to camp. Get this scroll sent. What is these? Potions of speed? These could be really helpful in like a really difficult fight, but there's not going to be an extremely difficult fight for us to really mess with. Let's go ahead and send these to Gale. And then I want to open this and put that other key in it. Since we sent it to Monahan from Will, it didn't go into our key pouch, which I hate how that works. Let me make this into wares because we don't need that. I put on these metal gloves that we found for a while back in that cart, just aesthetically. I thought it looked better than the leather ones. Okay. So that should be everything we needed to do here. There is still one more barrel. Just send that to camp too. I do have a plan for these barrels that I may get into, so they might get used. And I don't want to walk through that acid again, so we're going to go this way. I could go ahead and use a Song of Rest. We'll probably need to before we get into our next combat anyway. So that's tempting, but I'm not sure yet. We shouldn't have another combat immediately is the thing. That's why I'm not doing it yet. So, as I said, this is a tunnel that normally you would enter in from this side. And from this side, those statues would be really rough, and you would be ambushed almost definitely by that group of goblins. So, coming in through the opposite side gives you the advantage in who's, kind of finding out who first. That's why I like to do this encounter that way. I am going to go ahead and save here because we're going to be getting pretty much immediately into dialogue once through this door. So it's good to make a save just before going through the door. Or obviously, if you're not on honor mode, it'll autosave when you go through the door.